Jesus and the apostles spoke Aramaic, the native language of Israel and the surrounding territories at the time. As religious Jews, they also knew Hebrew because the Torah was written and read in Hebrew, but their everyday language was Aramaic. Today, mainstream Bible scholars agree that portions of the Greek New Testament, especially the Gospels, were taken from what was already written down in Aramaic. Some scholars believe most of the original New Testament was in Aramaic. Here's the question. If Jesus and the apostles all spoke, preached, and ministered in Aramaic, and if Jesus' words and the story of his life were first written down in Aramaic, why don't we study what they said in Aramaic? The Sermon on the Mount was spoken in Aramaic to the crowds on the shores of Galilee. Every parable Jesus shared was spoken in Aramaic. When Jesus sat with his disciples on the Mount of Olives and told them what would happen to them at the end of this age, he spoke to them in Aramaic. If Christians believe that every word written in the Bible is sacred, even though the Bible we read today is a copy of a copy and a translation of a translation, shouldn't we also at least consider that the actual words Jesus spoke, in the language he spoke them and the language the first gospel writers wrote them in, are also inspired and worth exploring? Join ancient languages scholar Chaim Ben-Torah as he guides us in exploring the language of the New Testament. The Gospel of Mark says, "They shall take up serpents." Do you think it means actual snakes? Not in Aramaic. Do you want to know Jesus' literal last words on the cross? Discover what he said in Aramaic. Do you think Jesus is in heaven preparing a mansion for you? Think again. What he actually said is much better. Leviticus 6:13 says that the fire of the altar shall never go out. But we know the temple that held the altar was destroyed thousands of years ago. Discover where God's fire still burns. Does God suffer pain? You might be surprised by the answer. Does God take pleasure in house building, plumbing, and rock and roll? How many encounters have you had with an angel and never realized it? How do you move from agreeing with what the devil is telling you to making him flee in torment? What really happened to Peter the night before Jesus was crucified? All of these questions and more are answered in the 75 word studies included in Aramaic Word Study Exploring the Language of the New Testament. Click on the link below to save 20% and find out how to save an additional 10% when you share Aramaic Word Study Exploring the Language of the New Testament with a friend. But that's not all. If you act now, we will send you a bonus 7 Aramaic word studies for free. Just click on the link below to learn more.